Hi, my name is Kevin Juneau, and I'm an undergraduate researcher working with Dr. Peter Owen on the project Improving Microwave Device Efficiency through Quantitative Visualization of Electromagnetic Fields. This project is based on an electro-optic probe which measures the electric field over a microwave device. These probes are non-invasive and do not detrimentally affect the performance of a device under testing. The goal of this project is to apply near-field physics to help reduce the error of the probe's measurements. The probe uses an anisotropic crystal to polarize a laser. The crystal properties depend on the strength of the electric field. So, if the electric field is very strong, the polarization of the laser will be different than if the electric field is weak. This allows us to determine the magnitude of the electric field from the polarization of the laser. However, the electric field decays across the crystal, making the measurement more of an integral of the electric field than a point measurement. For this project, we simulated a microstrip line in EMPRO. From this simulation, we obtained 71 planes of data to test the method on. First, we found a function that matches the data and also makes physical sense. The arctangent function, shown here, describes the electric field over a finite sheet of charge. However, it has no indefinite integral, so it can't be used for this project. This function was used to approximate the arctangent function. It matches closely over the area we are measuring, and it has an indefinite integral. So we're able to work backwards from the integral to find the coefficients a and b, which will let us find the electric field magnitude at any point. This shows the method that we used to find the coefficients a and b. We were able to work backwards from two measurements, E1 and E2, to find b using the quadratic formula, and a was found using b. This method was implemented as a MATLAB function. The probe measurements were simulated using Riemann sums of the simulated planes. The electric field was reconstructed using measurements from the EMPRO data. As you can see here, the reconstructed field on the right matches the actual field on the left almost exactly. The only major differences between the actual field and the reconstructed field occur at the relative minimums of the electric field, to the left and the right of the main lobe. This error could be caused by coarse gridding in the simulation or by near-field effects that need to be accounted for. This graph shows the error across the microstrip line. There are large spikes in the error at positions which correspond to the relative minimums in the electric field. The average error across the whole plane is 31.3%, and the average error at the center of the microstrip line is 10.8%. This plot shows the average error looking down the microstrip line. Again, the error is low for most of the plane, but high near the relative minimums. In order to determine how well this method will work, it was compared against several other methods that are currently used. These methods include the single measurement method, which approximates the electric field with the average value of the integral, the two measurement method, which approximates the electric field as the midpoint of a line connecting the two average values, and the subtraction method, which takes two measurements that are close together and subtracts them, leaving only the value at the fronts of the integral. The electric field and the error were calculated for each of these methods the same way as before. The shifted decay method is the method that this project is focused on. As you can see, it has a very low error for most of the plane and large spikes of error at the electric field's relative minimums. The single measurement method managed to recreate the shape of the field, although the maximum value is too low. This is because the average value of a decaying function is always lower than the first value. The peaks in the error are much lower for this function, but it is more inaccurate over the rest of the plane. The average error for this model is 36.9%, and the error at the center of the line is 26.2%. The linear model loses the shape of the relative minimums of the electric field. So it is not very effective at capturing the original function, and the spikes in its error are very large. In addition, the linear model overestimates the center of the microstrip line, so the error at the center of the function is quite high as well. The average error for this model is 46.0%, and the error at the center of the line was 22.6%. The subtraction method did not perform well here because it requires the field to decay normally over the whole plane. Because near-field effects become more apparent at lower electric field magnitudes, this method breaks down at the edges of the plane. The average error of this method was 90.5%, and the error at the center of the line was 53.9%. In conclusion, this project was successful because it was able to reduce the error of the measurements by a considerable amount. The model that we chose fits the physics well, and the data backs it up. When compared to the single measurement method, the error of the shifted decay method is lower by 15% across the plane and is lower by 58% over the center of the microstrip line. We hope that this will allow researchers to have greater accuracy in their electro-optical measurements. For our next steps, we intend to find adaptive methods to reduce error over the plane. So, if a different model fits better in high error regions, we will find how to identify those regions and change models accordingly. In addition, finer simulations will be done in high error regions in order to diagnose why the current model does not fit properly. Thank you.